Hello everyone. Today's subject is knife safety. Knowing how to hold your knife, how to use your knife, and how to care for your knife not only protects the life of your knife, but it can also protect your fingers from cuts. So let's start off with the equipment. The first thing you need is a good cutting board. Never cut directly on the countertop. Cutting board could be any type. It could be wood, it could be plastic. What you do want to make sure though is that if it has no feet, that it has a towel underneath it that keeps it sturdy and stable and not wobbling. My favorite cutting board is the Epicurean brand. I like this. It's a washable substance. I can put it in the dishwasher, but it has little feet on the corners and that keeps it adhered to my counter. There's no slipping. The next thing you need to know is the type of knife, and always use the right knife for the right job. You could use a chef's knife. This is an 8-inch chef's knife. There's a bread knife. I love my bread knife. I have a smaller chef's knife that's about 6 inches. I use that for smaller jobs, and of course a paring knife. You'll need that too. There are other types of knives, but those are the ones that I use the most of. Knife safety: do not use your knife to cut open packages or cans. Make sure that you have your kitchen shears nearby so you could use those. That will help protect your fingers and the life of your knife. The next thing that's important to know is that a sharp knife is a safer knife. If your knife is kept sharp, that gives you more control of the cutting process so that you're not having to work as hard, and the more the knife is able to do the work, the less likely you are to force it and then accidentally cut yourself. So a sharp knife is the best knife. Lastly, working in the kitchen in an institution, we require that our cooks and anybody who picks up a knife also picks up a cutting glove. This is a heavy knit material and it will protect your hand a little bit more in case you accidentally slip. My cooks like to put a nitrile glove on top of it, and that helps keep your cutting glove dry and clean because you're going to be using it all day long. By the way, quick tip, nitrile gloves quadrupled in price during the pandemic. But anyway, since I'm here in my kitchen at home, I'm not going to use my cutting glove today. If I was at work, I would. You can see I have my own. It's got my name on it, Woolsey. So we'll put this aside and let's start to cut. I've got my cutting board. I'm going to use my 8-inch chef's knife. I'm going to start with a pineapple here. So this is a large piece of fruit. I'm going to use a big long knife, and cut that up. Now, if we're doing something smaller or something that's more repetitive cuts, it's real important how you keep your hand, how you hold this hand so that you're not cutting it. So I'm going to start with some celery. I'm going to use my paring knife. I'm going to clean this up, so that's nice. I'm going to make my little slices to here. I'm going to line everything up so it's even, and this hand is going to be the holder. I'm going to use this with knuckles down, and this will be not only a way to protect my fingers, but also be a guide for my knife. As you're cutting, you want to use a rocking motion. The tip stays on the cutting board. Again, a sharp knife, it's real easy to do that, and then we have all our little cuts. Voila. The next thing is for knife safety. Whenever possible, cut away from yourself. If you're peeling something, it's better to cut away. If you're cutting towards yourself, that increases your risk of cutting your thumb or jabbing yourself. Something really small, like a radish, it's hard to do all of that on a cutting board, so maybe make your first little cuts to clean it off, and then once you have a flat surface, that can go down on your cutting board. Again, you have more control to make your smaller dices or slices or little radish roses, so that's real important. Now, when you're done cutting, where do you put your knife? When you put it down on the corner, the tip goes away from you and probably out of the activity zone, so it's off by itself. You don't want to lay it someplace right in front of you and then cover it up, because someone could come along and they don't know, or you'll forget your knife is there and you could cause problems there. Another thing, let falling knives fall. Don't try to catch it. Don't try to be the hero. When you're done with your knife, or in between jobs, you want to wash your knife. When I do my cutting, I start with my fruits and vegetables, and then I move on to my high protein items like fish or chicken or beef. Those types of items can contain bacteria, and you don't want the harmful bacteria to get into your fresh produce. So between jobs, I wash my knife. I keep a brush. I like a little dish soap, and I use this directly. Get everything wet. Give it a little soap down. There we go. Rinse it. Again, the way I hold it, trying to keep the point away from me. And when I'm done, I dry it with a thick towel, lay it down. Again, it's really thick, it's protected my hands. At work, we don't use towels. Towels may look clean, but they might not be. We will use a paper towel, something disposable. We clean it. Again, the important thing is you're being real careful. You're keeping that sharp edge away from you. Walking around the kitchen. Don't want to see you be doing this. Do not talk with your knife. Again, hold the knife safely, the point away from you and down so that you're not accidentally jabbing somebody. It happens. Well, thanks for joining me today. I hope you learned something. I hope you had fun. So remember, a sharp knife is a safe knife. Good luck in the kitchen, and till next time, ciao. That's it. Ciao is kind of a cooking term. What do you think?